So this is Nepalese New Year.
Today. New Year. Yes. Vietnam.
My name's Becky. I'm here with Small Woods Wales, Coed, Leol, running the woodland session here at Smiths Valley Reservoir. I am supporting you today in terms of welfare, so we've got access to water, hot drinks, food, snacks, the toilets, everything you need to know from that point of view. Andrew is the expert. He will guide you through the sessions today that activities you're going to take part in.
And what we're looking for are the wild plants that you can find that can be either eaten or plants that have medicinal properties. Things that you could be doing. Absolutely. And it has its... When the weather's not too good, something wonder about doing that. Here is still called... All the flowers at this part of the year, the early spring, all the flowers are bright yellow, so you have dandelions. It used to be used as medicine. We're here, don't worry. It grows a lot. It's a really common plant, and it's considered to be a bit of a weed, and people try to get rid of it. Yeah. It's a plant called herb robert, and herb robert used to be used to make a treatment for diarrhea and stomach upsets.
I've heard of that.
So you can make a tea out of it. Now you have to be careful because there are plants that have similar shaped leaves. Hemlock being one of them, that is deadly poisonous. So we've got some young birch here. Now birch is a really nice plant because the twigs you can infuse for say 24 hours. You cut the twigs into little lengths about that long and soak them in water for 24 hours. And it tastes, I think the closest thing I can describe it as is root beer. The name dandelion comes from the French, and it means, in French it's dent de lion, which means the teeth of a lion, because because the leaves, if you look, are the same shape as like the teeth of a lion. So now, unusually, most plants that have a white milky sap are poisonous. It's one of the things you look for when you're looking at wild plants. But with a dandelion, it has a white milky sap and it's perfectly edible. So when gorse is in flower, kissing is in fashion. Oh, because the reason for that is because gorse.
And this one as well.
The flowers.
Yeah. And I dried.
Yeah.
And I made a green tea.
The way to pick them without getting stung, so if you brush against them, it'll sting you, okay? But if you grab it firmly, so if you go into here, grab it and pull straight up like that.
I can do.
That won't sting you, okay? Right. Or it very rarely stings. So now if you're making tea, you don't want to use the old leaves further down, but these ones, that's a day or so old, that's very fresh. So when we're using nettles, it's just the top leaves like that. So maybe 10 of those to make a tea. Or you can eat them raw, and they're very, very good for you. They're one of the best sources of iron, more iron than spinach. They also contain a lot of protein, very nutritious. This is what we call ribwort planting, and it's very, very common. You find it growing in gardens, and it's like a weed. Yeah. If you look at the back of the leaf, this is what gives it the name ribwort. It's these long, sort of rough spines. Now, this plant is one of the most effective blood stoppers known to humanity. Wow. It was used by the Romans, the ancient Greeks.
Yeah, different Flavia. Yeah, Flavia is always alone.
Right, has everyone got a hot drink?
This is fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, get in there.
Right, where are those kebabs?
That's amazing. That's a work of art.
Wow, that is beautiful.
So it's important to keep the twists nice and tight. Yeah, that's it. So once you're bonded by cord.
What type of grass was this?
This is raffia.
Get that one like.
We was hungry.
Nearly.
You gonna be good?
Go in March.
Yes, I know.
If you go in March, it's nice and
I know. It's not romantic for me.
Yeah, so ivy, a lot of people think it kills trees, but it actually doesn't. It doesn't kill trees. This is something that I've only shared twice before, and as far as I know, no one else in the foraging community does this, so it is really special for me to share this with you. It's called patra. Today we're going to be we'll have a little bit of time to zone in first and do a bit of observation about the environment around us. Then we'll get cooking, make some patra. It's like a sort of spiced leaf roll dumpling thing, but instead of what you would use in India, patra leaf, we don't have that here. We use some wild garlic, so substitute in a British forage. And as a mixed race person, I love fusions of food that, like, you know, embrace both cultures. So that's why it's so special to me to share with you today. And then after that, I think once we've finished and we're all full, we'll go for a little walk, have a look at what's around to forage. I was reading about these meat dishes and loads of people had recommended books, and I was just like, this isn't stuff that I would eat. Like, I can't. This is what I'd have to do it as it wouldn't be part of my life. It's sort of ancestral knowledge.
So, you know, to answer your question, sorry, it's the wrong answer.
You know, I love the idea of foraging. Like you're saying, I'm Portuguese. I grew up in Portugal until I was 20.
I drove buses for a living around Llanelli, 41 years.
Yeah, so obviously I'm here working for small woods, but in terms of what I love about being outside in nature, I mean,
Usually I use my hands because I can feel it. It's quite tactile, but when I'm working with people, it generally is a bit smarter to use a spatula, and it's just the right texture, just the right shape. So
what wood is it made from?
this is willow.
Oh, it's a willow. It's very pliable, isn't it?
It's very very soft, very flexible. Yeah. Lovely wood. So the first thing we've got to do is get about 230 grams of chickpea flour in here, and I've got this really cool jug that measures it in weight for you. Wow. So would anyone mind measuring 230 grams into here? It's kind of unrefined sugar.
Looks like birdseed.
Oh, actually, I'll do a bit of info about the patra now. So this is gourd or jaggery, which is like an unrefined kind of sugar. Yeah, there are some things that if you show me a leaf of like ivy, yeah, I'll know.
Down the line.
But there are a lot of plants that have similar like relatives. My transportable dobro, which is my spice, and because we'll be rolling it, having it horizontally means that we're going to get a neat roll. It's going to be very, very neat, and it should look quite spirally. And then get another one in there.
Does it matter how thick it's got to be?
We'll keep it fairly thin because we're going to do a second layer, and we're going to layer it. I generally find it easier to do on a chopping board or on a baking tray or something, back of a baking tray, because then you've got finger room underneath. But the second layer, same thing, large leaves, they'll go that way. You can put them that way if you want to, but I think that will roll better because they bend backwards. But yeah.
I can't imagine.
Anyone else want to pitch in and Sally, come and join?
Yeah, let someone else
There's so
have a
many
go.
leaves. I've added a little bit more water, so it's a little bit more gloopy. And what I'm going to do now is just check that this is all kind of a good structure. Well, I'll show you what I would like out of the wood that we're going to get.
Yes, please.
So we're going to go and get some wood now. Okay, great. So are you happy with what to look for? Yeah. There also looks to be quite a large bit that's just stuck out of the ground there.
This one is higher, Eric. Do you want, because you're taller than me, do you want to lock it? Exactly.
Yeah, wow.
Here's one I did.
well done.
Even if you're a vegetarian, you can't break that connection in your brain.
Same even now, it's like...
Yeah.
I've tried the veggie bacon.
I haven't got time to explain now, but...
No, it's really good.
Hello?
Yes, I'm busy talking, you don't...
Well, that's why I thought you were too busy to eat it.
nutrition. So it's really interesting about making balance. But
I hadn't tried it.
I enjoyed watching Tara doing this new recipe.
This is a cast iron pan that we've been cooking in. Really handy for on fires. They're very tough and sturdy, but they don't take washing up liquid because they season the oil into them. You bake it in, and so it's good to boil it with some water to loosen any of the debris. Yeah, so ivy. A lot of people think it kills trees, but it actually doesn't. It doesn't kill trees.